Let's move on to Brexit. Do you think we're going to get a deal this year?
Well, I think what we saw at the end of last year, with the sufficient progress on the first stage of negotiations, was a real spirit of cooperation between the UK and Europe, wanting to ensure that we get a deal that is in everybody's best interests. So the timetable that we've now got going forward, of course, with that date of 29th of March 2019, when we'll be leaving the European Union. The first stage in that will be looking in more detail at the implementation period. It was important for business and for business confidence that there's agreement that period should take place. We now have to look at the detail of that and the expectation, and everybody's working to have that detail by the end of March in 2018.
Which really means getting a deal this year.
It then means the work on the withdrawal agreement before the end of the year, and I've been very clear that by the time we leave the European Union, we want to have agreed what the future relationship between us and the European Union is going to be.
Do you think that MPs are going to get a vote on our future relationship with the EU in Parliament this year?
There will certainly be a meaningful vote. There's going to be lots of votes for MPs on different aspects.
But the big one, I mean.
On different aspects of this. And of course, crucially, what the first thing that, if you like, in timetable terms, that MPs will be looking at is the detail of the withdrawal agreement. We've said to MPs they will have a vote on that. We will also, of course, be then voting on the legislation necessary to bring both the withdrawal agreement and the implementation period into place. Well, the intention is that, and Michel Barnier himself has said, he wants that agreed by October of this year, so that can then go to the European Parliament, which has to look at it. And we've said we want our Parliament to vote before the European Parliament does.
When you're asked about our eventual relationship, you have a sort of series of formulas you use. You say it's going to be a very good relationship, it's going to be bespoke and so forth, which doesn't really mean a lot to people. When I asked David Davis about it, he said he wanted Canada plus, plus, plus. What does that mean?
Well, it means that what we want is our own free trade agreement with the European Union. Now, we start off from a different position from other countries who start negotiating, and from Canada. Canada didn't have a relationship with the EU that we have because we operate on the same basis at the moment.
80% of our economy is service-based, particularly financial services. So would it be a Canada plus a special deal for the city? Would that be the kind of deal that would appeal to you?
Well, it would be a free trade agreement which we want to cover both goods and services. And what I want to do is to ensure that as we look at the Brexit deal going forward, it's important that we recognise why people voted to leave the European Union here in the UK. Some of that was about free movement and an end to free movement. Some of it actually was about the issue of the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice and people wanting control. But at the same time, I think people still want to have a good economic relationship with the European Union. So we want as frictionless and tariff-free a trading relationship with the European Union as possible. And that's what we mean when we talk about having a free trade agreement, which isn't modelled on somebody else's agreement, but is actually the right one for the UK.